Family Feud, one of what I call the big four of game shows, the others of course being Jeopardy, The Price is Right, and Wheel of Fortune. Two families of five duking it out by trying to guess what the 100 surveyed answered to various questions, all for the coveted prize of $20,000. Split 5 ways. In this economy? But over the 49 years and 6 hosts, they've never really reused questions, which has led to many different versions of the show. Nowadays, I feel like Family Feud questions fall into one of two categories. Category 1 is the sexually charged questions. A couple years back, the writers realized that a sexually charged answer would get a bigger reaction out of the crowd, and so they began writing more sexually charged questions.
Linda told her man, pretend I'm ice cream and cover me with what?
Category 2 is the more ridiculous question, where they also realized that Steve Harvey's bewildered reactions to strange answers, naked grandma!
Naked, huh?
Were also getting big reactions, and so they began writing stranger and stranger questions. And many questions fall under both categories.
You're driving naked. The cops pull you over. What do you hope they don't ask you to do?
First of all, why would I be driving naked? Second of all, of course, step out of the vehicle is the number one answer. Everyone would see my willy! And this brings up another problem many feud questions suffer from. The 3 to 5 people who don't come up with the same one answer that everyone else does, leading to just out there answers that neither family is ever able to guess. If I'm driving naked and get pulled over by the cops, why would showing my license be the thing I don't want them to ask me to do? I'd be less concerned that my license might be expired, and more concerned that there appears to be 2 gear shifts. But what was Family Feud like in the past? To find out, we're going to be traveling back to 1976 to watch the very first episode of Family Feud.
It's time for the Family Feud. Introducing the Mosley family. Wayne, Shirley, Melissa, Bridget, and Chris.
So we jump right into it with introducing the families and having them come out of the walls after posing for what was definitely an uncomfortable amount of time in those fancy clothes.
Ken, Barbara, and Shirley, on your marks, let's start the Family Feud.
Now that we've met our families, it's time to meet our host, Richard Dawson. And the first thing that becomes very apparent about Richard here is the way that he behaves around women is...
I'm a cookie monster.
strange to say the least. He tries to flirt with every woman here. Married, old, way too young, nothing is off the table for Richard. And I guess it worked because he met his second wife, Gretchen Johnson, when she was a contestant on the show, and they stayed married until his death. She was also 23 years younger than him.
A child bride.
A child bride.
Okay, who's pretty Melissa?
This is my daughter, Melissa.
Melissa is your daughter? I think I'm in love.
Nowadays, Steve Harvey usually likes to get to know the contestants in between answers, but here we get to know everyone before the first shot is fired. And now, it's time for the first ever question asked on Family Feud.
Name a famous George.
Of the jungle.
Hilda.
Washington.
George Washington? Show me George Washington.
So the very first question has one very obvious answer, George Washington. And in a move I've never seen done in all my days of watching Family Feud, the family unanimously decides to pass to the other family.
Now, what would you like to do? Do you want to play? Do you want to force Wayne to play?
So the round continues with many Georges I've never heard of, because 1976, and instead of playing to 300 like they do today, they're playing for 200 points, and the family who wins will go on to play fast money for $5,000, which is about $27,733.30 in today's money, so not too much of a difference there.
Try and get the most popular one. Name something you can do with a nose.
Steal it!
Blow.
Blow a nose?
Blow.
Let me see blow. Number one. Very good. Okay. Gonna pass it? All right.
You're telling me with infinite possibilities of questions they could write, they came up with name something you could do to a nose? And there are 7 answers on the board? Something that really pisses me off here is when it's time for one of the families to try and steal, instead of the coordinated huddle we see today, all of the family members just fucking yell over each other trying to get the head to pick their answer.
Here's your chance, George. You can steal.
George C. Scott.
I need an answer.
George C. Scott.
George C. Scott.
George
George C. Scott. Sure.
Okay, now I think maybe you've done the right thing. You passed here, talking over, giving an answer.
Powder, you know.
This is the third question. All dollar values are doubled. So we can have a win right here. We're going to keep doubling the dollars until we get a win, okay?
All right.
Take a look. We see the top 5 answers are on the board. Here's the question. Name a man, living or dead, known as a famous lover.
Maybe things haven't changed all that much after all, although it's definitely a lot tamer than some of the questions we have today.
We asked 100 women. The morning after a wild night with Ronald McDonald, you found a chicken McNugget where?
Vagina, Steve. I fucked Ronald M. McDonald and found a chicken McNugget in my vagina. Is that what you want to hear?
Clark Gable.
Oh, yeah. Show me the king, Clark Gable.
Who are you people?
Take a look. 3 top answers are there to this question. Name a famous cowboy's horse. Yes.
Full honesty, going into this video, I thought the older Family Feud questions were going to be a lot, how do I put this, better. And I was going to make a whole point about, is Family Feud better the olden days with the more grounded questions, or do the more out there questions make for a more entertaining show? But it seems like the questions on Family Feud have just never been good. There's 3 answers on the board, for God's sake.
Barbara.
Paint.
Paint. Show me paint. Not there. Bridget.
Tonto.
Tonto?
Tonto's not the horse.
Show me Tonto. Okay, you buzzed him first. We're going to give... Shirley. Give me a horse, Shirley.
Rika.
Trigger. Let me see Trigger. Number... No way you can beat that. All right. Are you going to play? You're going to force them to play.
Pass.
Going to pass?
Pass.
I need a decision from you.
They say pass.
You're going to pass? Let's see if it works out, all right?
And then the family who got it decides to pass. Let's take a moment now to discuss Family Feud game theory. If you decide to pass, you're betting that the other family won't be able to get all of the answers on the board, and that your family will be able to get one that they didn't. The inverse is also true. If you decide to play, you're betting that either your family can get all the answers, or the opposing family won't be able to get one that you missed. There are only 2 more answers on the board. Why would you ever pass here? Also, wouldn't it just always be more fun to play? To no one's surprise, this causes the Mosley family to win, and they're moving on to the fast money round, while the other family is taken out backstage and executed.
Don't leave. We have prizes for all of you, and I'll love you forever, okay?
He seriously needs to cut that out. The fast money is faster, as instead of 20 seconds for the first and 25 for the second player, it's 15 for the first and 20 for the second.
Name a symptom of the common cold.
Runny nose.
Name a brand of deodorant.
Band.
Name a rock group.
Elton John.
Elton John is one guy.
A rock group we asked for. You said the Beatles. Our survey said 16. Okay, 72 away. Any foreign language?
Come on, tell us the number 1 answer! So they don't win the fast money, but they do take the points they did earn and multiply it by 5 for a total of $890, which is about $4,900 in today's money, and they get to come back tomorrow for another episode. Well, that may have been officially the first episode of Family Feud. What if I told you there exists another? Yes, before the 1976 first episode, there was the original 1975 pilot, and maybe we could find some half-decent questions in there. So it all starts out pretty much the same, with the families just awkwardly posing behind the walls. Seriously, couldn't they at least try to have some fun with it or something?
Thank you, and welcome to Family Feud, and that's where 2 typical American families fight it out for family honor and a little spending money for the relatives. If I look happy tonight, I am. I've just got the oil drilling rights to Jack Lord's hair.
Hey, you made that joke in the first episode, too.
I haven't felt that excited since I got the oil drilling rights to Jack Lord's hair. Thank you.
Let's just skip past all the Richard hitting on married women and get to the questions.
Really, you're very pretty. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
You look like a green bumblebee. Name something that little girls say they want to be when they grow up.
Divorced!
Bob.
Actress.
Well, that was my second guess. I think this is the best question we've seen so far. There isn't one super obvious number 1 answer, and there are a lot of things that could be a correct answer.
2 strikes on you. You don't need a 3rd strike. Now, I'm sure you date a lot of pretty girls, so name something the little girls say they want to be when they grow up.
How old does Richard think the girls this guy is dating are? Whoa, Richard, we know you like him younger, but this guy's probably only like 25.
Name something it takes 2 people to do.
Dance?
Dance. Let's see dance.
Bet you feel pretty fucking stupid right now, huh?
Name something it takes two people to do.
I have to say the obvious because I don't have another answer.
What is it?
Make love.
Thought you'd never ask.
Ew.
Where's make love? Is it there?
I guess some things never change.
Let's take a look and see the other things that two people.
But you feel pretty fucking stupid right now, huh?
Asked our people, 100 of them. They gave us 8 answers to this question. Name any president of the United States, living or dead.
Alexander Hamilton.
Nixon. He said Nixon.
How did he not guess Gerald Ford, who was president in 1975?
Kennedy.
JFK?
How is Gerald Ford not the number one answer?
Ford.
Gerald Ford? Right. President Gerald Ford.
How is Gerald Ford number 6?
President of the United States, living or dead, there are 2 answers. Bob.
Roosevelt.
Which one?
The last one.
Just tell me a name.
Theodore Roosevelt.
Theodore?
Or when?
Teddy
No.
Roosevelt? Is that what you...
No, I'm not.
Tell me who you want.
The other Roosevelt. Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
FDR, let's take a look.
My god, what were they teaching people in schools back then? Man, you were there! I'm not so embarrassing at trivia night now, am I, Mom? I fucked Ronald M. McDonald.
There were 4 answers to this question. Name someone who's been married many times.
Richard Dawson.
Elizabeth Taylor.
Elizabeth Taylor, are you there? The number 1 lady.
I have nothing to say about this round because I don't know who these 1970s people are, so I'd rather talk about the board itself. Do you think they have a guy in there who has to physically flip over the panels? Do they have to shift around inside whenever they rotate the board?
Okay, here we go. 5 answers. Here's the question. Name a good luck charm.
Good luck, Charlie.
Name a good luck charm.
A leprechaun.
A leprechaun. Let's take a look. Welcome back to Family Feud. We're going to play Fast Money. Dee, your wife, is in a soundproof booth.
We've got her tied up. She's got a bomb strapped to her chest. If you're going to get at least 100 points, that bomb is going to go off.
Name a musical instrument.
Harp.
A spice.
Nutmeg.
Something green.
Shrek!
Porsche. Our survey said...
My final thoughts, I do think the older Family Feud had a bit better questions, but I think the newer Family Feud has a lot of more entertaining moments due mostly to Steve Harvey. Some of the questions are really out there, but compared to Steve Harvey, Richard Dawson has about as much charisma as a soda cracker.